tonight's video I have two cases. The first one happened a while ago, but the second one is a missing case of a young boy who went missing 2 weeks ago, and there's unfortunately not much that we know about it. That's why I'm going to talk about it at the end. But at first, I'm going to talk about the Whitaker family. But before I start talking about them, I want to let you know that I made this video for you to fall asleep to. So I'm also coloring. Maybe that will take away from the grimness of the other parts of this video and will help you relax and maybe, hopefully, fall asleep. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe as usual. And now let's talk about the first case. The Whitaker family. I hope I'm pronouncing their last name right. It's spelled Whitaker. Now look at this picture. This is the Whitaker family. Oh boy. Did you hear that? Yeah, we're gonna have those noises for a while. What was I on about? Their picture. On the right side of the picture is the father of the family, named Kent Whitaker. Next to him, the second on the right side of the picture, is Thomas Bart Whitaker, whom they called Bart. Next to him is his mother, Patricia, whom they called Trish. And next to her is the son, Kevin. But this other picture, is a more recent one. It's actually the last picture taken of two of the people in this picture. This was taken by Kent Whitaker, the father of the family, when they were on a nice dinner night out, celebrating Bart's graduation. But by the end of the night, Trish and Kevin would be dead, and Bart would get shot through his arm, and his father's humerus bone would be shattered, but they would survive. So what happened to this family? This incident happened on December 10, 2003. So let's talk about Bart. He was born on December 31st, 1979. Kent, his father, was a comptroller of a construction company. the same time frame where he is 16, 17 years old, his parents bought him several luxury vehicles. Whitaker began attending Baylor University in 2001, transferring from there to Sam Houston State University, or for short SHSU, where he was thought by his parents to be in attendance in late 2003 when this tragedy happened, and from which he was expected to graduate. That's why they are in the restaurant celebrating his graduation. But he had lied to his parents about his continued status in college. Varying reports had him dropping out of SHSU months before, or being present there as a freshman on academic probation. What? So it's possible that he even go there. He was just being present there as a freshman on academic probation. His parents funded his academic pursuits. They bought them several luxury vehicles, as I said before, and in addition, they purchased a lakeside townhouse in Willis, Texas, for his use, and a $4,000 Rolex watch was given to him as a college graduation present hours before this happened. Bart, more like Brat. What in the world? He's getting everything he wants. But let's see where that got his parents. On December 10, 2003, Bart told his family that he had just taken his final university exams and would soon be graduating from SHSU. They drove to nearby Papado restaurant in Stafford for a celebratory dinner. Whitaker had enlisted 2 individuals to carry out a crime. He wanted them to shoot his whole family when they got home from that restaurant. He hired a shooter. He was called Chris Brashear, and he also got a getaway driver named Stephen suspicion. Brashear then exited through the Whitakers' back door and jumped over the fence into the rear neighbor's yard. Bart's brother Kevin died within minutes of being shot. His mother Patricia died shortly after the start of her airlift by life flight to Memorial Hermann Hospital, but Bart's father Kent survived. Why did the shooter shot Kevin in his chest? And I think also his mother, right? Why wouldn't you go for head? It seems so cruel, even more than what they intended to do. You could at least do it less horrible, right? Maybe it's not less horrible. Bart told first responders that he thought the gunman was black in order to divert suspicion away from Brashear. Now Bart thought the police wasn't onto him yet, and they didn't have enough to charge him. And by June 2004, Bart decided to leave for Mexico. He used $3,000 to persuade an acquaintance to assist him. He assumed the name Rudy Reyes. He found work in a furniture shop in Cerralvo, Mexico, developed a relationship with a woman, and concocted a story of service in Afghanistan to explain his gunshot wound. He really thought he was living in a movie. First he decides to murder his whole family to gain all of their money, and then he decides to go to Mexico and have a fake name and make up stories about his wound. This is not a movie, this is a real world. He lived under the false name for over a year. On September 15, 2005, a capital murder warrant was issued against Bart Whitaker. The acquaintance who had assisted Whitaker to flee became aware of reward money that had been offered for his arrest and communicated Whitaker's whereabouts to the police. But that's what happens if you murder people for money. Your quote-unquote friends are going to sell you out for money. Cooperating with U.S. authorities, Mexican authorities arrested him without incident under immigration charges. In September 2005, Whitaker was handed over to U.S. authorities at the border town of Laredo, Texas, where he was arrested for capital murder. Bart was refused a plea bargain in exchange for his admission of guilt by District Attorney John Healy, and was instead tried for capital murder. Why would they make a plea bargain for his admission if they know that he did it? The trial began in March 2007, led by prosecutor Fred Felkman, before 400th District Judge. What am I saying? Oh, this is just the name of the judge. Clifford Wojcik B. Steve Champagne and Chris Brashear, who were 24 and 25 at the time of the 2007 trial. So they've been even younger, they've been like about 22 or even younger, 21, 22, when they committed this crime for money. Champagne to be the getaway car driver, as I said before, and Brashear the one who shot the family. Early evidence was presented that Whitaker had previously recruited others, but he had to abort these plots because it didn't work out. At the trial, one of his older friends said that he had asked him to do these crimes, and his name was Adam Heap. They went to the same high school, Clemens High School. At the trial, Heap stated that he had contacted the Sugarland Police Department with information about previous plots after he heard about the Whitaker family murders in 2003. He was given immunity from prosecution in exchange for testifying for the prosecution against Bart. So is that how they came to think him as the one who made the plan to kill his family? Because one of his older high school friends told on him because they had made the plan to do the same thing before. So this dude has been doing this for years, even though his family was giving him cars, renting houses for him to go to university. He had everything he wanted, but he wanted all the things his parents had. The early testimony from Heap described a first Whitaker plan to set a lake house owned by his grandmother on fire to kill his parents, brother, and other relatives. A plan that never went beyond discussions, but one that included a ruse as an element. The defendant coming out of the blaze with burns so that it would appear he had narrowly escaped. So the same way he got shot, he wanted to get burns if he had to set things on fire. This dude for real relied on everyone in his life to go on with his plan and never mention it when his family ends up dead. Did he think like they forgot, or they didn't care enough to go to the police? In other early testimony, Steve Champagne, the getaway car driver, described Whitaker recruiting him to be the getaway driver for Whitaker's eventual 2003 plan to murder his immediate family, and his testimony included the detail that Whitaker's gunshot wound was a ploy to make it look like he was a victim too. And since Heap had said that he wanted to do the same thing but with fire a few years ago, that is what led to his later conviction. The prosecution's theory of motive focused on financial gain, with evidence variously described as pointing to Whitaker standing to inherit about $1.5 million access to an 80,000 trust fund from his grandparents. Although he testified that he did not know he could access it, well, I doubt it would change his mind. He didn't want $80,000, he wanted everything. That's what I think. Kent Whitaker had already forgiven his son and his co-conspirators for their part in the murders, and had tried at the time of his son's trial years earlier to persuade the jury not to deliver a death sentence. See, even if your brat son decides to kill you, your wife, and your other son, he had also attempted to kill you, you still love him and want the best for him. And that's what Bart did not deserve. On Friday, March 2nd, 2007, what happened? They rested their case against Bart Whitaker without calling witnesses. After closing arguments, the case went to the jury. After deliberation, the Fort Bend County jury convicted Whitaker of capital murder under the Texas law of parties. The trial had lasted 6 days in total. The jury deliberated for 2 hours and sentenced Whitaker to death. I wonder what happened to the people who carried out the crimes for Bart. Well, in a plea bargain worked out with prosecutors, Chris Brashear received a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 30 years. For his role in the murders, Stephen Champagne received 15 years after serving as the main witness for the prosecution. And he also didn't shoot anyone, he was in the car. What's interesting is that later his dad went and he pleaded with the judge and asked that he wouldn't get the death sentence because then he would be the victim again, because he didn't want to lose his son. And he would also try and go against this verdict with his lawyers, telling them that they botched the other executions and they weren't doing a good job. Like, you are not in a place to do that anymore, man. You've ruined your life and your family's life. But what his father did, asking the court to spare his son, led to this decision. On February 20, 2018, so he has been in jail for a while on death row, thinking he's going to die. In 2018, in a rare decision, the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles recommended that the death sentence be commuted to life imprisonment. The 7-member board unanimously recommended clemency. To Republican Governor Greg Abbott, the first time he had done so unanimously since 2009. accepted their recommendation and commuted Whitaker's death sentence, noting that Whitaker had quote-unquote voluntarily and forever waived any and all claims to parole in exchange for a commutation of his sentence from death sentence to life without the possibility of parole. This was the first commutation of such a sentence from Abbott, and the first from a Texas governor since 2007. Abbott cited the fact that Whitaker did not fire the gun, and that his father, Kent, insisted that he would be victimized again if the state put to death his last remaining immediate family member as the reasons for the commutation. I don't understand. If your son murders your other son and mother and you wants to murder you, who cares if he's the last remaining family member? Why do you want him? Like, are you going to talk to him forever and just pretend that didn't happen and forgive him? I do not understand that, and maybe because I am not a father of a brat. Whitaker responded to the commutation of his sentence by saying, "I am thankful for this decision, not for me, but for," oh my gosh, shut up, what? "For my dad." Whitaker had previously stated his strong opposition of the idea of life without the possibility of parole. Well, you don't get to choose, man. You do not. You lost your freedom. Whitaker had earlier stated, sorry, that was the wrong part. So that is the case of Bart Whitaker. He is still in prison. He is currently 44 years old, and he's going to be there for the rest of his life, as he should be. It doesn't matter that he didn't pull the trigger. If he hadn't asked those people to shoot his family, they wouldn't have, I'm pretty sure. And since he thought he was a very important guy and everything revolves around him, even in the jail he started writing about how bad solitary confinement is and how badly the prison deals with people on death row. So he's written quite a bit of writings. He wrote into 2016 his first publication called "And Nothing Would Do As Well." Also, Hell is a very small place, Voices from Solitary Confinement, and Hell's Kitchen. These are the stuff he's written while he's been in jail. He's apparently got some university degrees while on death row. Well, he's having a good life in prison, and that is where he's belong forever. That is that case, the Whitaker family, or what remains of it. And for the missing person, I wanted to talk about a little boy named Sebastian. Now, Sebastian, that's probably not how you say it, but that's how I say it. Sebastian, yeah, it's A. Anyway, Rogers, he isn't a very little boy. He was 15 when he went missing 2 weeks ago. but I don't know, there's something about his face that looks much younger. He has a very sweet face, and I just can't get this face out of my head because he looks eerily similar to my nephew, and I think it's because of the same brain functions that they have. I've noticed that some people have similar appearances when they deal with some developmental issues, as Sebastian does. Alright, I'm reading an article from Independent. It was posted a day ago, and it's named Sebastian Rogers, What We Know About 15-year-old's Disappearance in Tennessee. The morning Sebastian Rogers went missing from his Tennessee home started out as a normal day, his mother recalled. But when Katie Proudfoot went to wake her 15-year-old son up for school on the morning of 26th of February, his bed was empty and he was nowhere to be found. Sebastian, who has high functioning autism, is described by his mother as being very smart and not a mischievous child by any means. State and local authorities have searched for Sebastian for more than a week using helicopters, drones, search and rescue dogs, and teams on foot. While the search was scaled back this week, a new search effort has since led investigators across state lines to a Kentucky landfill. An Amber Alert was issued to try to track down the teenager and bring him home safely, but so far he is not yet to be found. Miss Proudfoot told the news that the family went to sleep at their home in Hendersonville the night before he vanished. But when they woke up on the morning of February 26, he was gone. When Miss Proudfoot found her son's bed empty, she called her husband, who was at work. She said, "I can't find him," and when he asked, "What do you mean you can't find him?" she replied, "He's not in the house." Miss Proudfoot said she searched the entire house but couldn't find him, and she also added, "My son doesn't run, and he's not a runner. He's never run away before." I don't know why he walked out that door. That's interesting, isn't it? The mother, I can show you a bit of the footage of her interview just to see her demeanor. She says, "He walked out the door. I wonder how she knows that he walked out the door. You wake up and your son, who never leaves the house without telling you, he doesn't have, he's never done something like that before. You wake up and your child is missing, and you think to yourself, I don't know why they walked out the door. Why do you think that happened? Why don't you think someone came into the house and kidnapped him? And why would you even say that he's not a runner?" A massive search has been underway for Sebastian for over a week. as state and local authorities try to find him. They have even blasted his favorite song, which is The Eye of the Tiger, while searching in different areas to try to call out to him. But there still has been no sign of Sebastian. The search was scaled back on Monday as authorities transitioned to the investigative side of the case. At this point, the chance of finding him alive is very low, and that is very sad. And also, with all these recent cases where it was the family member who's done something to him, I'm sure both the police and the people are thinking that it had to do something at home, maybe something happened at home, and they got rid of his body. That's what I think at this moment, but we don't have anything to go on about. The sheriff's office said that investigators are now working on eliminating and drumming up leads. Authorities added that Sebastian's family has been cooperative with the investigation. Days later, authorities were spotted combing through the landfill where the trash from the teen's neighborhood ended up, according to the sheriff's office. That's interesting. Officials called the search of the landfill a precautionary measure to eliminate possible options and questions. So the police thought maybe from the trash that got out of that house they could find a lead, but so far they haven't found anything in the landfill. Aerial video footage from local news outlets captured a white tarp covering part of the landfill area while officers were seen digging through the trash for clues. Sebastian's mother and stepfather spoke out about their son's disappearance for the first time in 8 days after he went missing. His mother said, "I wouldn't wish this on anyone. On one constant roller coaster ride of helplessness and hopelessness." This is what her husband said. Many other emotions all in one, and it's never ending, and it's a never ending world because it doesn't stop. The couple has received backlash for not speaking out earlier, to which they say they shouldn't be judged because no one knows what they're going through. You are being judged. There's no way you can't be judged. Your son is missing. He went missing right out of your house, right out of the room in your house. The whole world is judging you. I'm sorry if you didn't have anything to do with it, but you can't expect people not to think you had something to do with it, when there's no other lead going on. They said you don't know, and I don't wish you to ever know. I just need you just sentences, you know. Of course, there are answers that we need questions to. It doesn't have anything to do with people thinking about how your son went missing. There are more important issues at hand. It seems every time a child goes missing, everyone is thinking about people need to be nice, people need to say nice stuff to the family. No, that's the least important part of this situation. All you need to think about is your son and how to find him or find out what happened to him. It does not matter what I say on the internet or others. Sebastian's mother, who said she's just hoping to bring her son home safely, had a message for him. So she said to his son, "We love you so much and we want you to come home and you're not in trouble. I just want my baby to be okay." I hope to God he is. Multiple agencies are involved in the search for Sebastian, including the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, the Highway Patrol, the Fire Department, the First Responders, the Sheriff's Office, and volunteers. Anyone with information on Sebastian whereabouts is encouraged to contact Sumner County Sheriff's Office Detective Carter at this number or this email. So that is all we know about Sebastian at this moment. I will update you on these cases that have not been resolved yet in later videos, maybe shorts. I hope you're sleeping